any footage that had this problem, that's where you have the little zingers going through the background, like little pulses of light.
We just had a sound effect there because it was an electronic world and sometimes things glitch. For each live action character, an exposure for the main body, there was an exposure for the circuits, there was an exposure for the whites of the eyes and the whites of the teeth, maybe one other pass. So it was roughly 5 passes.
You believe in the users?
I've come to communicate with my user. But if you are a user, and everything you've done has been according to a plan, right?
The users can no longer help us with loss.
Are you a user?
User?
My user. User.
What you guys call a user?
End of line.
Tron is a movie that not only changed the world of cinema and sci-fi, but also changed my life. It's not an exaggeration to say that I would not have gone down the career path that I chose without seeing Tron 1982. Stay tuned to after the podcast, after the review, if you want to hear some movie-related news and other stuff that we watched, read, etc. In between recordings. But in the meantime, as usual, you got Chandler up there, Skylar over there, and sadly, we do not have my brother Austin. He could not make it for work-related reasons. He is very upset about this because he also has a lot to say about this movie, but he's going to save that for next week. So, anyone have anything to say before we jump into the what the movie is about? I'm guessing that's going to be thrown on me because of what the movie is.
Oh, yeah, you're 100% doing this summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly excited to see how in-depth you can get with this summary or how fast you can wrap it up. Like, it's either going to be under 3 sentences or like over 10.
I'm going to try to, I always try to make it pretty quick because I like to go with the assumption that whoever is listening to this podcast has watched the movie, because it's going to be the best way to experience it is just knowing what we're talking about and then having the ability to give your opinions too. And at that same time, commenting and liking, sharing the video with your friends, and helping us get to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas, because that would be absolutely incredible. I would appreciate that a lot. But yeah, so this movie, Tron, I know a lot of people probably haven't seen it because of its age. It came out in 1982, like we talked about. But it's about a dude who makes video games, Kevin Flynn, and he got kicked out of the company because some guy, some loser, some bozo, stole his video games, took credit for them, and then he created an AI that gets smarter by copying other shit, and then that's like taking over the internet. And at that time, they thought the internet was like this one thing that connected to it is kind of like that, but like directly, it was just like you could go into some computer thing and directly access the Pentagon. His corporation was able to do that. But yeah, so they wanted to break into the company to try and get his games back into his titles so he could get the credit for that he deserved. The AI sent him into the game world inside of inside of the grid, which is the internet there. And then he fights against the evil AI. He beats the evil AI with all of the different programs down there, like Tron, and then gets the credit to the games, and everything's okay with him. They also talk about God a lot. There's a lot of religious themage throughout the movie, which I really appreciated. And so did 11 or 12-year-old Zach. Whenever he watched it, it blew his fucking mind. He was like, "Holy shit, dude! Movies can mean things. That's wild." It actually changed. Well, I mean, Tron Legacy definitely is what because I watched that before I saw this movie, and it blew my fucking mind whenever I saw that in theaters. And it was mainly the music that actually, I'm sorry for rambling. I'll throw it over to you guys in a second, but I feel like this is necessary because if you've watched the podcast since the beginning, or even my friends up there, I talk about Tron Legacy as being my favorite movie of all time. But this movie is also really close up there with me because the making of it it's insane. I also, every time I watch this movie, I also watch another movie directly afterwards, and it's a documentary called The Making of Tron, and it is the most amazing thing ever. I honestly kind of think that it's a necessary thing to have watched either before or after the movie, just because of how much you learn from the world and stuff like that. But after watching Tron Legacy in theaters, I was like, "Mom, we have to watch Tron." And then I watched this movie, and then immediately I was like, I want to know how this was possible, because it's insane. 1982, and this movie is what it is. And when you get to that, I can't wait to tell you guys about it, because it's going to blow your fucking mind. You guys are going to be like, "Holy shit, dude, I cannot believe this movie exists." But yeah, do you guys have any? Did I miss anything crucial in the? Did I hit all the bases?
No.
There? Nice.
No, you pretty much got evil Corpo.
Evil Corpo and God.
I will say, like, I actually found the beginning of the movie to be a little confusing. And you clarified a lot of things, or like kind of tied the knot in a lot of the beginning parts of the film. So
Interesting.
I thought you did a good job.
What do you think you like missed? Oh wait, speaking of something that might be confusing, in the scene in which they're doing the light bikes on the game thing, they accidentally have a 3-second clip of the light bike scene later on in the movie. And you can tell because there's like bikes in the shot that aren't supposed to be in the shot, and that's just there randomly. And like to me, that I can see the director of the film looking at it and being like, well, shit. All right. Well, we committed. We have to just rely on the fact that no one's going to rewatch this movie. And then 40 years down the line, I'm able to rewatch this movie 6 times and then see that. That was the only bit that I was like a little confusing to me. Because like on my...
I must have missed 6. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's totally fair. Someone else go and watch that. It gave me so much joy seeing that this time. I never noticed before.
Sky, did you notice that? No. I think I know the scene you're talking about too, but I don't remember seeing another bike.
It's
No, I've never.
very fast. So there's a bit in which the 2 bikes are running straight, and then it cuts to a bike in between a wall and then another bike next to it. And that wall wasn't made yet. That was supposed to be in a different shot. And plus the other bike was a different color. And I was like,
I remember the wall.
yeah.
I remember the wall.
Mhm.
I did not notice the color being wrong.
And I was like, fuck, dude, I love that. I'm able to notice that in this movie because it's so wild. It's a crazy movie. Also, sorry, this is another fun fact that's going to be random. And also it's related to the beginning of the movie. They had video game like sets on set of the movie for all of the actors to actually like play. At that time, this might be wrong. It's something they said like in a one-off comment of the documentary. But video games were still 2D at that time. So they had to like come up with the idea of what a 3D video game would look like, in addition to being like creating some of the first CG in a movie ever. So that the idea of them being like, we have to come up with what this would look like and also create this unbelievable new technology. It was fucking crazy. I love this movie. I'm sorry. I just had to go off on that little tangent there.
So to go along with the beginning and Chandler saying how it's a little confusing, I think it does leave a lot up to like context clues and trying to like figure it out on your own, which I mean is good and bad if it is like confusing some people, because some people might just miss the point.
Totally, yeah.
But I kind of got the vibe, well, because it did say that it's like his games and that the other guy took them and that he was mad he was getting all the credit because of the couch scene of the Kevin. Is it whenever they're at his arcade, he goes upstairs to his room? Yeah.
Sick
So,
ass room,
like,
I just want to say.
Yeah, it is cool. It's pretty funny that it's right on top of a arcade. You would think you'd never be able to sleep. But yeah, I remember there, but I would say a little bit more toward the beginning, you're more so like confused as to why the MCP is so bad, and it slowly like drip feeds you like more and more info about why it's bad, leading up to like the end where it's like, I'm going to take over the Pentagon, and then like I'm tired of dealing with the humans. And then some other bits like that, like a lot of this movie is slow dripped info to you, which is good. And I remember saying in another movie that we were introduced early that I hated that because it made me go back a lot. But this one, it wasn't like out of the blue, nowhere. It was like you can kind of get it with like context clues, and then like it's like more so confirmed to you a little bit later, which I don't mind too much. So
yeah,
I always want to get out of the way that I didn't have too much problem really understanding this movie. Some bits were a little more confusing than others. Most of it was with the virtual world was where I started having some issues understanding, like the switching, the names and everything like that, how the world is what it is, the different guardians, the MCP programs, the other people, like the beginning intro scene in the virtual world was a little confusing to me too, but
I didn't like
the real world stuff, crystal clear.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since it wasn't, I'd say it's about like 50-50 with the movie, you'd say, like being in the virtual world, being outside of it.
Yeah.
The stuff at the beginning, not that I didn't like it. I did enjoy seeing like all of the programs being programs at the beginning of the movie, but I felt like it would have been a little bit better to have, especially the religious conversations that they had back at whenever Flynn fully goes into it. I would have preferred to just see kind of like allusions to that. The programs are actual like things, like we see a racer inside of the car instead of seeing him being brought into the actual games itself and seeing him talk to someone else. Even though I do love that scene where he's like, do you believe in the users or something like that? I really enjoy that scene. I just wish it was like slightly afterwards. Whenever we get fully immersed into the world, we just stay there, you know?
I agree with you too. I'm also a little confused on how that one person even got selected. I think I'd like to know a little bit more about like that.
They were picking people who like talked about the users in general, that because they called them religious fanatics, or they had like a specific.
Oh, so he was literally selected just because he is like a believer.
Yeah, for him
essentially
to be a believer in like whatever their quote unquote God.
Okay. That is one connection I didn't make. I just took it as some crazy guy in this thing's asking him.
Yeah, no.
And I didn't really get the connection too much.
The crap, what's the name of the AI, the
MCP.
MC
Master Control Program.
Yeah, the Master Control Program. Perfect, MCP. It told Sark to gather all the people who like all the programs that believed in users or had like direct connections with users, and either de-res them or throw them into the games for their enjoyment, which is one of the things that made young Zach be like, holy shit, dude, this is real. This is wild.
I thought he took the programs that he couldn't learn from. Like, do you remember at the very end where there's tons of programs that were all like tied up and he was like siphoning one? It's either they went there or they went to the games.
He funneled, right? You're totally right. But all of the ones that were taken were the religious people. He just was like, I'm going to funnel them out between the people that I can siphon energy from and the people that I can get, like, throw them into the games, just let them de-res or whatever for my enjoyment. So, yeah, you're totally right. I can't wait for... have you guys ever seen Tron Legacy?
No. Yes. I've never seen this.
Oh.
This is my first time watching it. I have some things I want to think through about that. One, I did watch the film. It predates 2000, but I did watch it.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. You did the bare minimum for talking about a movie and reviewing it on the podcast. I'm proud of you.
I just have to preface though, because like you know how hard it is for me to go out of my way to watch a film that predates 2000. It's a flaw I'm working on.
Yeah,
but I was immensely surprised with this film. At first, I was not entertained, especially like the beginning.
The live action,
like this week
they have many shots. Like we don't need to see them walking into the building and then literally down every single corridor and up every single staircase. That's a flaw that a lot of like before 2000 or 2019, I'd say before 1990 movies, like you can kind of get the idea if you show where they're going to and where they enter from that they made it to that location, you know?
Are you talking about in the real world or in the virtual world walking?
In the real world.
I disagree. I liked the like calmness of the real world compared to like the chaoticness of the
I didn't actually
virtual world
for that, but I wrote it down as something that I was like, that's just something that older movies have. But I like that point of view, Skylar, that it's supposed to be like that. It's a dichotomy. I took it as like they needed to make it to 1 hour and 30 minutes. So that's what they did.
No, I mean, that might be it. But I took it as like, we're slowly like, and they had conversations like this entire time. So I'm literally learning about this as I'm aware that there is a virtual world. And then, like, it's like super calm in the real world. And then we immediately pick up whenever, Kyle goes to the virtual world. Kevin goes to the virtual world. And Yeah, and then it's like pretty much like nonstop, like gotta get here, gotta do this, and there's like no like second to break or to have like just a little walk aside from maybe one part whenever they're drinking the energy water from like the
I like that bit.
portion.
I always, after I finish the movie, I always forget that scene's in the movie, but then I remember it and I'm like, man, it's like a fun little bit.
It's a really odd bit.
Yeah.
That I don't know about that one, so we'll get to that one. But
Just is like, there's fun in there, you know? What does that relate to?
I really thought that he was gonna fall in whenever both of them left, and he was like trying to get further and further. I thought something was gonna. No, you're just being.
the platforming in that looks so funny because he lands. It's as good as it can be, and I'm not saying that, but it is so funny looking. So it's so clearly like not there.
Yeah,
and like it looked like he wasn't super confident. Like they had like an X or something on the ground where he had to land, and he was trying to look down to make sure he landed on it, and it was really funny.
it is that, but kind of, okay, it's so complicated. Do you want to know how the movie's made now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
It's fucking crazy. So they kind of had like a relative idea in it. He wanted to make a movie that was like as much like an animated movie as humanly possible. And at an initial glance, especially from like our perspective, being born in the early 2000s, it might not look like that, but this is essentially a 2D animated movie. Everything in the internet world is 2D animated. They filmed it with them wearing completely black and white suits in an all black room. It was not like green screen or like blue screen or something like that. It was 100% black room. They were wearing all black and white suits, only the lines on it, no glow, anything like that at all. So they would just film these scenes where he was like, okay, I think that you're trying to go from this area to over there, so just do that. And then they film it, and then they take the image and they split it into a bunch of different not holographic, like see-through different renders of it, where it's just the suit, just the lines, just their teeth, just their eyes, just their face, like a bunch of different things so that the colors actually match up in it. And then they color them individually so that each one like glows in its own specific way and then has them different layered out. And then they had to bring in the old Disney animated cameras, and they essentially created like an animated picture using the different like 70 layers of the film, and then they would send it back over the camera and refilm it. But the problem was, if they had to do that for half the movie, they found out that it would take around like 5 years for their team to go ahead and do that. So they had to send like thousands of the images all the way over to, I think they outsourced it to Korea for people to just kind of like spend time drawing on it. But they still had like hundreds of people in America working on it, just painting them. Like I remember in the documentary, one of the actors said that some guy walked up to him and was like, I hate you and your nose. And he was like, what? Who are you? And he goes, I spent like a year painting just your nose for Tron, and it sucked and I hated it. But I think that is the funniest thing ever. And the fact that it just took so much effort for this guy to be like, I want to do something that no one's done before. I want to do this really weird, crazy concept where they had to invent new technology to create the backgrounds for these characters. And like, yeah, it doesn't look good that you could definitely tell that it's just a guy in a CG background. But that was a level of like green screen and chroma keying that has never been done. Like it was never thought possible until this movie. And they did it so much more complicated than we would ever do it. They literally had to hand go in and get these people out of there. And that's why it looks so good. Like it doesn't have that green screen feathering that you see in all of these like early 2000s, late 90s movies. And it just fucking like, yeah, some parts look bad, but I fucking love it. It's so great. The technology is insane. Also, one fun fact before we move on, it was not allowed to get awards because all of the award companies said that it was cheating. It said that what?
Because they outsourced, it was cheating.
No, because they used CG and 2D animation. They said the effects on it were too complicated, and no one else could do something like it. It was cheating. So it got
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And keep in mind, it's 1982. Like you have to think about that every time that you like see any scene from this movie because it looks insane for that year.
This movie feels revolutionary.
It is.
Yeah, that was one thing that I wrote down too.
And it flopped at the box office, and no one saw it, but everyone who did see it loved it. Well, everyone under like the age of 15 that saw it loved it. All the adults hated it because they didn't understand it. They were like, "This is terrible, and I don't get it."
I don't know how you guys felt about this film, but it was making me feel two different ways, and so I gave it two different numbers for whenever we get to that point.
I kind of had the same thing going. Not like two different numbers, but like two scores that were drastically, at least decently different. And I'm still teetering on which one I think it should be.
I'm pretty sure. Score. I would watch this movie yearly if like I don't know. The older movies, it's hard for me to just sit down and rewatch like this because I feel like I can remember every single scene of this movie. So I don't know if I want to watch it another year, but I don't also know if I feel that way because I've seen it 10 times or something like that, or listened to the documentary or watched the documentary 13 times. I don't know. But I love this movie and I have a ginormous smile on my face every single time I watch it. And I love Tron. He's so cool, I think. And I just love the way that all the programs react to users. And I'm gonna hold it. Actually, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I was gonna say my favorite scene. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. Well, then I have something that might make you a little bit angry. Okay. So after this, because this was 1982.
Yes.
And was it the first Star Wars in 1977?
Yeah, but this is way more technically advanced than that.
Yes, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was some slight inspiration, mainly with like bright colors and like that aspect. I like a lot of like I don't want to say just the blue and the red, but there is like a lot of like color pop. And I don't know if it's present in that movie, but whenever I think of Star Wars, I think of colors popping from like lightsabers or like the Force or other like explosions like that. And this movie had like a ton of colors popping like in the virtual world.
I could see that understanding from like Star Wars nowadays, but at the time of A New Hope, Star Wars would not have had that stigma because I think like lightsabers in that movie for like 4 minutes total. They're barely in this movie. It's Star Wars is not about that. The early Star Wars.
I don't
say so, Chandler.
I got a Star Wars vibe once during the film, and I can't remember why.
At the end, whenever they were like doing the,
I thought it was the disc.
I thought that was a little Star Warsy.
No. Yeah, whenever they're like staying still on the platforms.
Yeah, whenever they ignite the disc, that's literally like igniting a lightsaber. At least in my head, whenever I think of that. But that's like the only thing that I can really feel Star Wars-y. Because he
amazing.
His inspiration was animated movies. He said that he wanted to get something like bright and vibrant and colorful like an animated movie.
Which is really weird because I swear a couple of these the different like vehicles they use in the virtual world had Star Wars level of like design. So like there was one that literally looks like do you know the one Star Wars ship that's literally like an H or like the ones in the Saturn, the two on the side? There's literally one in Tron that looks exactly like that flies through.
I would say that yes, they are pretty similar. I'd say in the shape of it, but like I don't know, the Tron ship's different. It has I had the center bases in the middle. Nope, you're right. They're the same.
Yeah, like it's basically the same. But
I don't know. How many creative things can you do with just a couple shapes?
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a knockout movie. I'm just saying that I got some Star Wars inspiration.
No, that's totally fair.
I mean, this movie,
sci-fi. Both of them,
yeah, for sure,
heavily influenced sci-fi along with Star Trek, and probably something else that I'm remembering at the moment.
The 80s must have been an era, well, late 70s and part of 80s. Like, honestly, I kind of want to have been there, see all these movies. Because the reason I gave this 2 scores is because of how cool it would have been to see this in the theater. Like, I'm so sad it failed at the box office. Like, it kind of makes, I guess it somewhat makes some sense considering a sequel didn't release until 2012. When did Legacy come out?
2012 or 2011 or something like that.
Yeah. And it's taking this long for the series now, so.
They said adults just didn't get it. And I totally understand that, especially like back then in the wow, both of you guys made a face on that. What was that about?
You cut out.
I cut out.
Your Wi-Fi lagged for us.
That's so weird.
And then we heard it all, but like in like 2 times speed. So you're not like
I love because that happens to Austin all the time. It's so funny whenever that happens. But they talked about it at the end of the documentary. They said that kids who were open-minded to having a movie that's not just like a war flick or a cowboy flick or something like that saw the movie and were blown away, and they were like, I want more Tron. I want to see where this world is going. I'm opening to the themes and all that stuff like that. But adults, the second they saw like the colors, they were like, what the fuck is this shit? Give me a cowboy. I need to see a 6-shooter. You know, like
That's not what they said. I like how much they popped.
What was that, Skylar?
I like how much the colors popped in the virtual world. That's one of the things I wrote down. I am really on like a level of like character and stuff to this film.
Yeah. And even though they're wearing hockey gear, like it's the best they could do for the time, you know? Like you gotta give them some credit.
Yeah.
Especially since like this was his first live action movie that he directed and wrote. The only thing that he's done before was like a bunch of animated shorts. And he just was like, all right, I have a crazy idea that Disney is only somewhat on board with. I have these actors that I barely convinced into it. They don't know what they're doing. Jeff Bridges is just like, yeah, man, I'm along for the ride. Everyone else is not on it at all. They're just doing it because Jeff is here. But like, I love that energy. Like you can feel that. I feel this movie's awesome. I love this movie.
This maybe makes me appreciate Legacy way more too, because now I actually understood some lore. You're right.
I mean, it's all right. I haven't seen it yet, so I genuinely was asking.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, nice. This movie helped massively, especially with like the religious subplot, because they really just pick up where this movie left off. And if you don't have the idea of that, then you kind of are just like, I don't really understand the theme, or not maybe understand it, but like maybe you don't get the full grasp of programs and their belief. Or
I just like seeing returning characters.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I was gonna say like, or even like Clue's motivation. I feel like isn't as fleshed out, because watching this movie in its entirety, finishing it, understanding it, seeing Clue at the beginning of the movie and then Clue in the next movie, is such a like tight story. It's so great. I can't wait to talk next week. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be incredible. Anything else? Is gonna rip off this movie? Some other bits?
Rip on it a little bit.
Yeah, more. Let's rip on this movie. Let's make me sad.
Well, like it's hard for me to want to rip on this movie. Not because you like the movie. I could care less if you like this movie or not. If I'm gonna rip on it, I'm gonna be completely honest.
No, that's fair. Yeah, you did it with weapons.
It's because like genuinely that could be the best they had at the time. Like a lot of the CG and like costumes don't look good. Some of the lighting is a little wonky. Some of the actually the dialogue isn't too bad. Actually, I think it still fits pretty much modern day. So like that part's actually I think pretty decent. Like a lot of
the actors. Shut up. It's the actors. I think the dialogue is fine.
Yeah, the dialogue is fine. There was nothing that they said that was like, oh wow, I wouldn't say that now.
Yeah.
Like at least not that I can remember.
There are two things that I don't like about this movie. And if Skylar can continue, and then I'll say them. There are things that you could, even if for the time.
Like some of the suits might not look good. Like some of the
man.
The old man at the end. I don't really get that.
Great. Here's the prop.
And then a lot of questions with how this guy was even able to make it to the level he did in the corporation, not doing anything.
Right.
Some questions there, but mainly the big
guy. They said he got the money to from taking claim of the
games
to then make this AI, and then the AI allowed him to build the company to where it was.
But I feel AI though. Yeah, exactly. How is he smart enough to make the AI, but he can't make a game?
Well,
So
That's totally fair. In my head, I always
feel
took it as like he's tripped and fell and created this one AI that was like relatively stupid but had the capability of learning. And then over time, it just got better.
yeah, but that's a huge trend now on success. In a way, the AI he made, like, I wouldn't even call it AI because AI is supposed to learn and build off of it. It just like absorbs.
Yeah.
It just like it just consumed and learn that way. So I honestly probably call it a parasite. Yeah, but I think it was like a parasite, not AI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's like what the
but-
reality of it was. That's what they thought there was going to be.
But my like biggest rips are like visually. So it is not really all there. Visually, it is not there. Not if you watch it like now. Then it probably is, and this is probably like mind blowing. But right now, it's not. And like, so that part, like, I want to forgive because it's not the movie's fault. It's literally technology has changed so much.
Yeah.
But like, and another thing is like sometimes the pacing is a little weird. So there's like some slower bits, faster bits, then it goes back slow, then it's a little faster again, and then it's like keeps being faster for a longer period of time. Yeah. And the ending is like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Total. Like that's the thing, like genuinely from like think like the last fight to the Ed Dillinger realizing he's out of a job is like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And like a lot of like the virtual world is still happening whenever you're like an hour and 10 minutes into this movie, you're like, I got 20 minutes left. Yeah. I haven't seen anything that's really soon, like looks like it ends. Yeah. So these are some of the like bigger riffs I have. It's like a really long beginning and a really long like rising action if you want to do that. And then the climax is like kind of there and then it like instantly goes off and that is credits.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think the end is one of the worst parts of the movie. Like, it's not like I wouldn't say the end is my least favorite scene, but I feel like it drops off because they just don't have the content to finish it off in a very satisfying like way. I feel like the religious subplot was kind of pushed to the wayside right after. I don't like the way that Flynn specifically was sent home because I don't think it makes all that much sense. And I feel like if there was some way, like some conclusion with him and all the programs or something like that, it would have made me feel a lot more satisfied with that plot and where he went. I know that the actual fight, it was a lot longer. They just couldn't make it because they couldn't make the scenes look good with the technology that they had. So they just had to leave it at what they had. And that's why we saw a bunch of like reused scenes with him throwing the disc over and over again and stuff like that. But no, I totally get that. Were there any other things that you guys were going to say negatively about the movie? Chen, go ahead. Hit it.
I have written down 2 quotes. They're both kind of goofy. Man, I don't know what time this was, but I know Tron during like the later half of the film. He said, we've made it this far. Just the way you said it was.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. That one sucked.
No.
Yes, totally. That line was so bad. Why did you have that line?
Oh yeah, he did have a long pause.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And like,
I was gonna say, like, I thought he was gonna go down the cliche route.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is probably the one that made the cliche. He just didn't like put that much effort into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like it was an awkward pause, and then from say this far, I don't know.
To me, that was one taker that he just kind of was like, you know what, fuck it. And then in post, he was looking at it and he was like, fuck, dude, why did we only do one take on this? You fucking terrible line delivery.
I feel like there's quite a bit of line delivery. You're right. Not necessarily like the actual script, but I will say this one was cheesy. We had already just learned that the MCP, Master Control Program, or whatever, the evil AI, wanted to pretty much take over the Pentagon and just he thought and I was more efficient than humans. So he's giving this whole spiel on like how he wants to take over. Like, he wants to be like ultra. And then was it Flynn or someone would start talking to him? I'm pretty sure it was Flynn before he gets sucked into the game. And the AI goes, "Stop, please."
Yes.
You realize they can't allow you to do this.
Yes. I agree fully. I knew exactly where you were going with that. Because that was so cringy. Because I was like, why does he care? Why doesn't he just he doesn't have that kind of emotion? He would just activate it and immediately shoot him.
Yeah, but then why do you say please though?
Yeah.
Why go for you to a human?
Great point. Fantastic point. Also,
Evil.
was he thinking that if he said please, the plane was going to be like, oh, dude, yeah, I'm sorry. You said please. I'll stop, I guess.
AI has a conscience, I guess. Yeah. Maybe that was one of the things he consumed from the other games.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
he consumed.
yeah. But
Yeah.
empathy. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
had to put on a facade. I thought some of the Iron Man face cam scenes, if you know what I'm talking about.
Like of the bot?
I didn't know how that played.
Like of the bot?
Sorry?
Oh, I remembered the problem.
Like when they were in the motorcycles in this the very first 2 minutes you see this.
Yeah.
But Iron Man cam scene, I just mean you know what I reason his helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots of those. And it just really final cut on the big screen. It just didn't look right.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, that would be hard to do. I can understand this.
I'm going to say that again.
Did I cut out?
Yeah.
I maybe at the time it was really hard. And
Dude, Discord does not want us to hear what you were saying there. What the fuck?
they did it at the same time.
Again, at the exact same moment.
I'll just say they were doing something that Iron Man didn't do for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So I'll come hella slack, but it definitely does not hold up to. I definitely have some things, but I did think the animation or the spectacular for it being PS2 quality at 19.
Yeah.
Amazing. It was amazing. Blew me out of the water.
That's the exact generation I thought. I was like, man, this looks like PS2, but this is they're shooting for PS2.
It's
Crazy.
It was just bright enough, and you could tell that it was matte, a matte finish. It was just a flat plane.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. Classic.
I'm good. Sorry.
I'm super naive, and I know that because I haven't seen 2000.
Look, you cut out again.
You have to get it with this, and I will also say that I love the game, the first game where the circular platform, and whatever sport he was playing, I've only just recently seen that. So I'm dumb and naive to say this, but I didn't know it existed in 1982, and evidently it did. So I feel so stupid.
Yeah.
I got so much.
It's just
you guys know sport flying, right?
Yeah, the one where he threw the ball up into the roof and it bounced.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some really cool videos on YouTube about that look really entertaining. Difficult. I was not expecting that to be in this film whatsoever. That was genuinely surprising.
Yeah. I kind of wish they showed more games in the next movie a little bit more. We saw 2 games each because we didn't really see. No, we did see disc fighting in this. We saw 3 games in this movie. Damn, I wish we saw 1 more game in the next movie. We only see 2, kind of. We see another trick thing. We see a lot of shit in the next movie. We'll get it.
I was hoping to see more games though in this because he said he wanted to take him to the games and then he escaped. But that would have been. I was actually kind of looking forward to the game, and then but the movie didn't. But
you could only do as much as you can, especially for the budget that they had.
Yeah.
And also the story that they wanted to tell. He has to escape from the games eventually. He can't just be in there forever.
Right.
That
would have been interesting if he was.
No kidding, right? The problems that I kind of saw, that one of them I'm kind of convincing myself out of it. So I'm going to talk about that one first. Is that it took until 30 minutes of movie time of Flynn being in the internet world to realize that he had user powers. And I feel like that's something that he would have noticed a little bit earlier in the movie, especially during the scene where he was actually drinking the internet
water power.
Yeah, he was drinking the power. You think that if him directly touching the power would kickstart his user abilities rather than just him being sad over one of his programs possibly dying, so he has to activate his powers or something like that. And especially spoilers for next movie, but the way that they show his literally godlike abilities inside of the program world. It just made me not like disappointed, but be like, I wish he figured those out in a different way. I wish it was more like he unlocked it, or more like there was a specific reason why he wasn't able to access this ability until this point. You know?
I want some anime reason for why he figures out his powers.
Exactly. Yeah. Give me a backstory flashback, like an hour-long animated movie. No, I'm kidding.
I will add with what you were saying. Oh, wait, did you finish?
Yeah. I'm done with that point. Yeah, I was gonna move on to the next one. Go ahead.
Do you mind if we talk about like that death scene though with Ram? Holy cow! Oh my gosh! I'm sorry, that was so
Dad, what are your opinions?
I didn't consider shedding a single tear whatsoever. I shed a single tear for like Ram being in that situation and having to like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
I like the dialogue. I think that if the acting was better, if that scene was made today, that scene would be really great. I think where someone who is
I don't really know if I have any reason to really care that much about Ram.
what?
I feel like the only one that really matters is Flynn.
Yeah, Flynn and Tron.
Like, yeah. So if it's not
him, a guy, he's the dude. You know,
It's the dude that's supposed to die and make you feel emotion. Like, and then you don't.
He was one of the religious guys that was talking at the beginning. He asked Tron if he believed in users, and I liked whenever he was literally dying and looking at a user and just was like, can you tell me, did I finally meet what I've been believing in? And he was like, yeah, man. And I really liked that. I really enjoyed that scene if it was acted better. You know? But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but
Aaron was barely in the movie.
Yeah, he was in nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't.
He did die after the movie. I was not expecting it.
They just like, faded.
They tried to show it with the colors, like his colors would like flash from top to bottom or like change color a little bit, and that was supposed to show that he was not right. But like, it just wasn't done the best.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get the vibe he was dead.
Yeah,
I got the vibe he should have been dead, but it looked like he wasn't because of those flashing. I think if they just had a lack of color, I really would have gotten it.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
It does turn red though, right?
Yeah,
did it turn red or no?
It turns red at the very end. It turns red. But it also, I think it was maybe bad acting moment on all of them. Like Ram didn't seem dying enough, and Flynn didn't seem worried enough. Like the moment that was supposed to show that Ram was getting worse, Flynn was saying like, "Hey, are you okay, man?" And he just goes, "Hey, are you okay, man?" Like all happy, and I'm just like, I don't think you would do that if you were actually worried about him dying. But I think it's because this is the first movie where they just had two guys in a black room, and he just was like, "All right, you're worried about him dying, go." And he was like, "All right."
He doesn't know who he is.
yeah, exactly. But he's just like messing around with this like object that's in front of him, and he just turns around and he's like, "Hey, you okay, man?" I love that aspect of the movie. It makes you so happy. All right, were there any other things that you were going to say about that scene? Go ahead.
No, but I'm refraining from what I want to say because it might give away like favorite and worst.
Okay. Then
Okay. One other thing I wanted to say before we get into that favorite, least favorite.
Okay, I have one as well, so I'm hoping ours is the same. But I'll let you go first.
Okay, this is the biggest problem with the movie. This is something that this is a big enough problem that my girlfriend pointed it out, and I'm not saying that she doesn't like think about movies, but she loves every movie, and I think I've seen every single movie. And she goes, "Yeah, that was good," and then no other comment on it. She said that was good. The lady wasn't necessary in the movie though, kind of at all. And I was like, that's 100% true. She existed in the movie to be a love interest for both of the main characters, which is just what the fuck. That is what? Yeah, that is just weird. And if you remove her entirely, nothing changes really at all, except for the fact that she.
No.
Actually, no. I was going to say she's what got them into the building at the beginning of the movie, but no, Alan's there.
She did.
Yeah, Alan got him.
Yeah.
She could have just been out of the movie entirely, and nothing would have changed. They just needed a girl in the movie.
Yeah.
Possibly.
That's my. That was the one of that wasn't the point I was going to bring up, and I do agree she could just completely be out of the movie. It's legitimately the same thing. Just I don't see a girl for 5 minutes. Like that might be the only change. But like I also did like the fact that she was like openly dating the one guy, and then super flirtatious with Flynn. She's like, "Oh, he's an ex-boyfriend." How did it's like smiling like that, walking into his business, and I'm like,
Program fell for Flynn, bro. What the hell?
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. It was weird. It gave like thruple energy the entire time, and it just was like it was like thruple energy, but Alan was not okay with it. Which at that point I feel like that's just cheating. And Alan's cool.
Yeah.
I like Alan.
It begs questions for the following sequel, I must say.
I
Begs
think,
some questions.
I think they answer them.
They do?
Yeah, they
Okay.
like Alan says something related to who he marries. I mean, she's not in the movie, obviously, but like, I think they talk about like what goes on with the girl. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think honestly, it's not something I looked for ever, and in any of my millions of rewatches of Tron Legacy. Oddly enough,
Why did they call the movie
because it was
When?
the software that took down the MCP.
CP? Yeah, but I'm still thinking like it could have been like that was pretty like it was
Dude, you keep cutting out. This is crazy because this doesn't happen.
really that bad.
Yeah, dude, you're silent. It's wild because this doesn't happen at all whenever we're playing like video games or before recording. It's just like, oh yeah, Zach hit the start button, therefore I'm gonna fuck up Chandler's audio for some reason. Do you want to continue with what you're saying? Sorry.
Yeah, can y'all hear me, son?
You're good, yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be too far away, and then it's like not picking you up as like the main one talking.
That's it, probably.
That.
Oh,
I'll do that.
Yeah, try to explain again.
I don't know. I mean, I can get that he's the name of the film, but also like I would have assumed Tron meant
that's what the grid.
the name of the game, and not like the name of the program. And so when I think someone told me that forever ago, until seeing this movie, I didn't realize. Look at Tron Legacy. I guess watching that, I thought, oh, the game's called Tron. But no. And so now I have to say that that's the program's name, but I'm still curious why they went down that route. I feel like they could have chosen something else.
No,
I
totally.
really do.
I think the reason why is the name that they have for the actual like program that they go into, not like the name of the program people, is called the Grid, and that's a less marketable name than Tron.
Yes.
Yeah, I there's no problem with the name though. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of like that it's like the program because it's program feed program pretty much.
Yeah, essentially.
It makes you think he's the main character, but she isn't. I'd argue it's Flynn.
Yeah, but I'd say Tron is the main like force of the story for the most part. Like without his disc, they wouldn't have been able to beat the CP.
Yeah,
because the disc was what needed to go into it.
And he's the stud.
He is the stud, yeah. He just. Oh my God, he's the Perseus in the Olympian story. He's the Perseus. He's the guy that's doing the actual like adventure while the gods are just intervening and helping him along the way. Does that make sense? Is that a good analogy?
I can understand. Yeah.
I guess the myth wasn't called Perseus, but I don't know.
I get what you're saying. I understand. And like, yeah, he is kind of like, he does beat the bad guy with help.
Yeah.
You could say influence from the gods, that being Flynn.
Yeah. Totally.
Help the Percy character, but yeah.
All right.
Thanks. I don't know. For thought, I should say.
Food for thought. Yes. Always. Skylar, what was your last point?
I'm actually redacting my last point because I think it might actually just lead me to my least favorite. So I'm actually going to hold on to it because I fear if I mention it, I'm giving away my least. So, yeah, I can. So what? We want to do favorite, least favorite, funniest, gore?
Summary number, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll start off my least favorite since that's where we were going. I don't like how whenever Ram dies and he's carried away into this random party, he goes, "I think you're good here." and then he like very awkwardly clunks down, which I'm fine with the awkward clunk because he doesn't really know where it is. But whenever like the ship kind of starts turning itself back on, Ray looks like he's completely fine again.
Yeah.
He like looks like nothing just happened. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" He gets up from the brink of death and is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And to figure out what's going on, as if we didn't just see him basically die and then be so wounded he had to be carried away.
Yeah.
So
Die
I think that's mainly it's like I think it's a nod to the acting more than the actual writing, because that scene I don't think was played out legitimately correctly. Like I think that it might have been
on that, because he just, again, the actors are in a black room. They have no idea what's going on. He probably just was like, you have to be like, oh, wow, this is crazy. But he forgot to tell him that you have to be like, oh, wow, this is crazy, while also dying, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like if they filmed this movie in chronological order, you guys saw the last scene in
chronological order, Skylar.
That's news to me.
Really? You never knew that. You film what's
no, I
the schedule.
I feel like it depends on like the director. Like I feel like, for example, someone like James Gunn knows what's going to happen from beginning to end. But I think the Russo brothers film not complete.
Okay, you're saying, okay, at that point it depends on the franchise. Then, if you're making a good movie, you finish the script before you fucking start filming. I think that's filmmaking 101. They did me that in my very first class at school.
But like the only time I've heard a movie that's even blatantly said it hasn't filmed in order is literally whenever Tom Holland said he thought he was at a wedding in one of the in the Marvel Endgame things, because he's like, we filmed it out of order
together. But no, most movies are filmed like, he also never got the script for it, so he never knew necessarily what was going on in that movie. But yeah, most movies are filmed out of order. Not like the end is first or whatever, but it's in the, you go as chronological as possible with like, maybe you get this one location, but it's the end location, but you get that first. That's the only time you can get that. So you can film the end first, but then the rest of it's completely fine. But it turns out the beginning location, that actually we have to get like 6 months down the line. So we have to go end, middle, then the beginning, something like that. Like that's how it usually ends up turning out.
Okay, so yeah, it would be the acting and the direction then, because he wasn't. He might have been told correctly and just didn't do it well. It could have been like one of those one take things. That's like, I guess this is the best. And it's like, oh man, we really should have done another one. Or it could have just been like, say these lines while laying down, and then that's what it is. But yeah, that one kind of like genuinely confused me, because I was like, I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
Do you look fine? I was like, is it the floor? Did like the floor heal you somehow? Is that like a healing pad that I don't know about? Yeah, so I'll go from that and I'll go to my favorite scene. It was the end fight. The end fight just looked so like visually nice, even for its time. I was like, just watching them throw like the disc back and forth was so sick.
Can't wait for next movie.
And then my funniest is it's at the beginning of the movie in the virtual world, and they're using like just random like computer terms as swear words. Like one was like calculate was like a swear word, and like those ones were kind of funny. It was like you calculate like I don't even know what the line was, but I know they used calculate, and calculate was like genuinely a bad word in the line.
His like program profession or something like that, because he was an accountant or something like that, and they called him like a calculator or something like that.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But yeah, they used calculate as like a bad word, and they did like a couple lines beforehand too. So I'm just gonna pick those. I think it was funny to like make computer programming have like their own swear words that are within like programming. And then I'll throw the popcorn to Chandler so we can have Zach round this out.
Wait. No, wait, you have to give us
that score. Score.
Summary number.
Sorry. I'm sorry. So I didn't find this movie the most entertaining thing ever. It was kind of hard just to want to like actually look at it because it really wasn't that visually there. But for the time, it was visually there, and like it's hard for me to break this movie because like I want to rate it among other movies that I see now, and if I rate it among that, I feel like it's not fair because it doesn't have the same like advantage that like the for example like the Demon Slayer movie had. Like that's like animation that like is kind of like what I expect from movies now. Like I vaguely expect that animation level from movies nowadays if it's going to be animated. It needs to be close. And this movie is nowhere near. And even if it's like CG, if it's doing something like that, I expect to like barely even notice it if I do. And it's blatantly obvious in this movie. But again, it's because of the time. So, I mean the pacing issues, which I mentioned earlier. But like, I am still going to give this a 6.5 because I mean, if it's modern day, this score is much lower. But it's back then, and it genuinely has a really good backbone because I know that there are 2 more movies that come after this, and it looks like it sets up a very nice backbone for the like people to build on. It sets up 2 worlds. It sets up a real world that we barely know much about, and then it sets up a virtual world in which we start learning about. So, like, I think it's a really good starting place for a franchise. So that's kind of where I went with it. So I gave it a 6.5, which might be a little low, might be not, but like I was genuinely between like 8 and 2 for like modern day and like back then. So like I feel like I could settle more toward like back then because that's really when this movie was made, and it was clearly made to change a lot of things. So yeah, I'm fine with 8.5. So 6.5. Sorry, 6.5. No,
big jump
now. Yeah, now I'll send it over to Chandler.
Are you sure you want me to go first before you use that? Because I'm just gonna tell you, I'm taking your funniest one. I know what exactly to go last. It's his
No, I know you know what it is because none of us have talked about it the entire time. We've been waiting. I knew. So Chandler, I thought to myself like halfway through the cast because we're about an hour and about 30 minutes, and I thought to myself, man, it's crazy that none of us have mentioned this. About 5 minutes later, I was like, none of us have mentioned this because we're all waiting, aren't we? we're all waiting.
We're all waiting. Yes.
Yeah.
Although I can hold off for my funniest. I'll make.
Go ahead.
Because
you let me have it next week. Don't let you have it this week. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll still say it. I'm still gonna wait. That's my 3rd piece.
Okay.
My least favorite. I already said quite a bit. That death scene with Ram. Some of those cheesy lines. I had one. Can't remember. And we're just gonna go with. Sorry,
that's the time I'm waiting.
Iron Man face cam scenes. That's my least favorite. They were so off-putting and just they just didn't vibe well. Favorites? I lost this one too. Maybe you should have gone. Oh, I found it. Actuarial program. The one guy, Ram, used to be a forward actuary, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? That was so cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't really expecting that. I guess I'm also naive. They had actuaries in 98. What the hell? I thought that was because like even now that's the market is very small. Like people need actuaries, so that's why I went down this route. For those that don't know, the viewers out there, I'm an actuary, I guess. Now you know. But like I mean. Was Excel a thing in 1982? Like, how the hell did actuaries do actuarial stuff? Now, I cannot imagine what Ram had to go through. Yeah, bro, Ram's a genius.
Wait, the computer. This movie's about computers. It had to have been something computer related.
Yeah, I mean, he talked exactly like what. I mean, I think he was talking about life insurance, like in the film, which I don't do, but I understood. Regardless, my I will hold up. No, you said I can have the funniest. I can have this, all right? Scott, I'm surprised you didn't mention anything about the
Crazy that you did not mention
Browns. The what? The Pac-Man. Do you remember? I can think of 2 Pac-Man bits.
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm great.
What?
He missed.
You go like,
He missed out on
Yeah,
Pac-Man.
There's a moment when they're in like the red ship, and what's the not the AI, the bad AI. What's the other guy? Stark or Sark?
Yeah, Sark.
Stark.
oh, sorry.
You're at like the hub of the ship, and on the screen is just you could hear the noises. Yeah, and he's just stationary, but it's there. It is there on the screen. And then I swear later in the film, Pac-Man noises. I don't. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say like maybe someone's getting beat up, and you hear like you hear something.
Did you hear the noise? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure you hear it again.
But seeing on the screen was so cool. I love that little Easter egg. I said my favorite part of the movie was the actuary, but like, come on, it's the funniest, but it's my favorite. It really is.
Such a great reference. It's really fun.
Is it? All right. Oh yeah, number. 2. You guys get 2 numbers from me. I think that this film is an 8.5 in 1982. It is not 8.5 today.
Okay.
So I was cheesing watching the film like, man, this is so peak for its time period, but also understanding that now it does not compare to Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. So I think it nowadays I'm gonna give it like it was entertaining, but
You're gonna merge those numbers, or what are you committing to?
I don't know. If I do that, it's gonna be like just like Guy's 6.25 or whatever. I don't know. I do want to say this real quick. As cool as like the video, like the Tron world was, and like all those lights and it's super dark, it just doesn't look great now. It really. But I would have loved it then, and I would have wanted more of it then, and I'd have been geeking then. I don't know what else to say. This movie was really eye-opening. So yeah, we will merge number, and we will round up to a 6.5. Sorry, continue.
The craziest part of like the world here is how the Tron Legacy people saw whatever the fuck this was and was able to build the grid into looking what the grid looks like in Legacy.
Yeah.
It is crazy the difference between those two movies. But like, I mean that in a good way, because obviously the technology is going to advance 30 years. And 30 years. Fuck, dude. It's been 45 years since Tron.
Yeah, you're right. 30 years. That's 2012. I'm glad they didn't change much. Like they kept it very similar, just revamped it to look nice.
30 years different. Yeah. But I mean, programs work the same way. I can't wait to get into talking about that movie. But yeah, getting it out of the way, my funny issue was the Pac-Man thing. I was really hoping that we could get to the end of the podcast and say that, but someone had to steal it. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Chandler, I really appreciate you giving me, already last week, I had to return the favor. But what's my least favorite scene? I'll talk about my favorite scene last. My least favorite scene is a combo of 2 scenes. One of them, it's related to something I talked about. One of them was the kiss scene right before he jumped into the big laser beam. I was like, fuck, didn't like that. And then the following scene was when everything was okay, and she goes, "Well, I thought you were dead." What? I don't tell him. Why did you tell him? No, he wasn't there for that. But also, just in general, it's such a fucking terrible idea. The entire concept of her character being so flirtatious with both of them. I just wasn't a fan of that in the slightest. But yeah, that's my least favorite. Those 2 scenes together. My favorite scene is the conversation between Tron and Flynn on the Solar Sailor when they're on the way to like the end bit. I don't want to spoil it. I am going to spoil it though, because I want to talk about it here. But the Solar Sailor scenes in both of these movies are phenomenal. It's probably not going to be my favorite scene in the next movie, but I really enjoy just the calm conversations on the way to the climax between the 2 main characters of both of these movies, in which they're just kind of talking about the B plot, which in this movie is the religious stuff. And that line where he's like, "So if you are a user, then this is all according to a plan." And he's like, "What are you fucking talking about, man? I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of playing it by ear." That line has been very impactful to like the way that I like think about life in general, because that line back whenever I was a kid made me obviously compare it to God and stuff. And I was like, whoa, dude, I know this is very baseline because it's a 1982 movie. And keep in mind, I was 11 whenever I first watched this movie. But I was like, whoa, dude, if he made this world and he's like God and he doesn't know what's going on, maybe God doesn't really know what's going on and he accidentally did this and he created this like existence and he just is like, fuck, what do I do now? Like, this is something I tripped into. And I know, right? It's a crazy idea. And the order in which I watched these movies was I watched Tron Legacy in theaters. I was blown away by the music. I watched this movie and the making of it, and I kind of was like opened up the themes and stuff like that. And then I went and rewatched Tron Legacy, and I saw that movie like continues off of that exact thought that I thought of in when I'm watching this Tron movie. It's fucking awesome. I love these movies so much. That's my favorite scene. I guess that's a really great transition into my actual like summary of the movie, where I think that I can watch this movie tomorrow and still have a giant smile on my face. And it is nostalgia. 100% is nostalgia because of how much this movie formulated just my entire belief in movies and how I look at films just in general. And I can't ignore how amazing technically this film is, and just seeing how they created everything. There is a reason why I watch the making of documentary every time, because I think just the ins and outs of how this movie is made is remarkable, and you can see it in every aspect of it. And they even put like fun Easter eggs like Pac-Man into it. It's just so from the heart. It's such an art focused movie entirely. It just was, this one guy was like, I want to do something fucking crazy that no one has ever done before. And people just felt his energy and was like, you know what? Yeah, run with it. Yeah, he had to do some like test footage for Disney people, but whenever they saw it, they were like, this is a great idea. Go with it. You're awesome. I love your energy. And I love that. I love that movie gives off this energy. And for that, I think I'm going to give it a 9. I fucking love this movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. I think it's pretty up there with Tron Legacy. I meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if with Zach's 9, yeah, that makes it a 7.3, which since Zach is mainly Mediak, I'll father around each other 7.5. It's closer to 7.5 than it is 7. So Tron, as it was in our calendar, gets a 7.5 out of 10, and Zach does his little victory dance.
We could.
How bright is light?
I'm pretty sure it got like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like all the critics hated it back in the time. I'm pretty sure it was like a 40%. Like right now, if you look on anywhere, I'm okay with 7.5. I'll take it. You know, I've been fighting an uphill battle my entire life, bro.
I want to see a critic from now review Tron, and critic from Tron or from back then review
Tron Legacy.
Ares. No, I want to see like I review each one.
I'm so scared for that movie. But we could talk about that more next week, because the subplot of this movie is more shot in the next movie, and I think that Ares is going to be focusing on that a lot more, and I think that's like a really bad thing. But again, we could talk about that later when we actually talk about Ares and Tron Legacy. Are we ready to get into the news segment?
Oh yeah, take us there.
Okay. Stuff last. What's some lame shit that's happening? Okay, Netflix boosted the live action Demon Slayer budget following the success of Infinity Castle, which that is good and makes sense. We love to see that. That's really funny. But we'll talk about that later. This is bad news. You know what? I'm going to go into the bad news later. We're going to talk about this weird thing just because it's weird. I'm only bringing it up because it's weird. We're not going to talk about it on a level any deeper than just mentioning it, okay? That's all I'm going to do. Pokemon Company is suing the Department of Homeland Security for the video that they released recently. That's all I'm saying on that topic. All right, next news. So we're jumping into... It's just not That's good. I mean, that's not good. Look into it. Actually, look into it. Everyone look into it. I just don't want to talk about it because, like, I don't know, having opinions on things nowadays is dangerous. But do research. Look into it a little bit. It's something that is worthy of research. The reason why they're suing the Department of Homeland Security, at least in my opinion. Into next news. So, Borderlands 4 came out recently, and the CEO of that company has been really weird. His name is Randy Pitchford. The actual the actual company themselves, Gearbox, went out and apologized for how weird he's been being with the release of the game, which I think is really funny. I can't wait. I don't know if Moist has made a video on that yet, but I'm really excited to hear his opinions on that because I know he doesn't like Randy at all, which is really funny. Now we're into a bunch of Disney-related news. It's Disney franchises. We got the first trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu, which looks interesting. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't know. What do you want me to say about it? I like the logo.
I heard a bad thing.
Who cares? I'm not going to go see it. I hope no one sees it. I hope it flops. More bad news. X-Men 97 and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man are in plans to get yearly seasons, which is a bad thing in my opinion. Because, well, I mean, not for Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man, that's a show that probably can be a yearly show. But X-Men takes too much for that, you know? And also the main writer of the season 1 left. This seems like it's bad now. It seems like they're going to make it bad. But
Make that grab.
was it? Yeah, it's going to be cash grab. They're only doing it because people like season 1. But
I was just aware. I did change my mic because I needed to power my laptop. So if it sounds off, that's why.
You're good. I mean, there's not a whole lot of the cast left anyway, so you're Gucci, brother. We only have 2 pieces in news. Not a whole lot to discuss. Avengers Doomsday has finished filming. That's done. Everyone got a T-shirt related to Doctor Doom. That's pretty neat. And one
It is cool.
it is pretty cool. Yeah. One last piece.
A little souvenir.
Yeah, it is like a little souvenir. That it happens occasionally. Like I know they had a couple times on Ant-Man 3 had a little souvenir, like a T-shirt that went out with it. I know Skylar Ballard. Yeah, it was the first one that came to my head. I know Keanu Reeves bought like watches or motorcycles for People One, John Wick. From that news into other news, Tom Holland was rushed to the hospital after a stunt went wrong on Brand New Day. He's okay. By the time we're filming, by the time this episode comes out, he's actually going to be filming again. It was only a mild concussion that he got. It wasn't like anything serious. They just held him off for about a week just so that to make sure that everything was okay. So he just like hit his head hard, and then they were like, "You should sit down for a little bit." So yeah.
It's still scary.
It's totally. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not scary. I'm just saying that it's not as bad as it definitely could have been, which is good. We'd love to see that. We don't want Tom Holland hurt. He's Spider-Man.
We know what specifically happened.
I've seen 2 videos. One of them I think is fake. The other one might be real, where one of the vehicles hit him, and then the other one was he did like a front flip in a stunt, and then just terribly mistimed it and face planted into the concrete. I don't know which one's real, so take that with a grain of salt. Look into it yourself. But I would honestly lean more towards the faceplant one, or like, I don't know, or one of them was planned and both of them are stunts, and I got tricked by the internet or something like that. You know, that can always.
I got hurt. This is the perfect time for Austin to be here to spread some misinformation. It's literally his time.
I miss his misinformation. Where the hell is he? I'm kidding. I know where he's at. That's all my news. Does anyone want to go into the next segment or start it? Yes, Tyler?
Yeah. I just have one more bit.
Okay.
Zach.
Oh, wait. We got a trailer for Wolverine. The video.
Dude, how'd it look?
I didn't watch it. I'm excited for it.
There's a guy I like to watch on YouTube, and that video is in my save to watch later.
I plan on buying the game, so I don't want to watch the trailer to spoil it or something like that.
Wait, spoilers that were leaked?
Yeah, for the most part. Well, I just know that Wolverine is there and it's gory.
Zach, do you know how crazy a statement you saying you plan on playing the game so you don't want to watch the trailers, but whenever the trailer comes out for a movie that you plan on watching, you watch the trailer?
It depends on the movie. I only watch trailers if I don't know what the movie's about at all, for the most part. The only time I watched the Ares trailer was in theaters, and I was trying to talk to G the entire time through it because I knew I was going to see Ares.
Okay. So it's if you don't know what's going on, then
yeah. If I need to be convinced into it, if I know I'm going to watch it or play the game, then I would choose not to get as much information as possible. But I watched the trailer for Keeper because I didn't know what that movie was about, and it fucking hooked me. I'm not watching any more trailers on that movie.
Is that the one with Jason, whatever his name? Or I think a beekeeper. Yeah, beekeeper.
You are, yeah.
One bit of, I guess, news that isn't too surprising is that him has very bad reviews.
Thank God.
And to literally nobody's surprise.
Crazy when I watched the trailer.
Jordan Peele was marketed on that all over that movie.
Yeah, he only produced it.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of crazy?
No, it's not crazy because the people who fucking made the movie probably saw that it was a shit ass movie, and the only way to promote it was to slap Jordan Peele's name over it everywhere.
That is crazy that they did that. That's like falsely advertising who made and
welcome to movies, Chandler. Welcome. It's a great environment. Sorry.
No, doesn't a producer just like supply the monetary fund?
Yeah, he released the movie under his production company, essentially. Allowed it to be sent to theaters. That's what Jordan Peele's involvement in it was.
Maybe just to get some slack for giving this movie giving this movie his money.
Yeah. And also probably gave him a cinematographer too, because like I heard the movie was actually shot well, but that was like the only positive the movie has. But like, I don't know. I wasn't shocked. If you watch the trailer, it looks fucking horrible. I
saw one of the trailers like in a theater whenever we had to go to the theater for, well, not when I had to, but when I went for, I think Demon Slayer. I think I saw it. And then you said something about the Ares trying to avoid that trailer. And then I made me click. I saw him, and then I saw you like recently, and I told you that that him was doing bad. So all the pieces like clicked at once.
Came together.
But
got his idea.
With that, I do have a question, Zach.
Yes.
What have you been watching?
Okay. I'm gonna try and pull up a camera because I can't see my whiteboard. Give me a second here. But I'm going to start off with what I know. Black Ops 6, I've been playing a little bit more on that. Chandler, I'm actually getting really close to being done with the camo grind on that because of that not glitch, but the exploit thing that I've been doing. It's made the process go by so much faster, which is crazy. I wish I found this.
Nice. Just in time for Black Ops 6.
7.
Or 7.
Did you watch the trailer for that? It looks It looks so good.
I've not seen anything. Really, it actually looks good.
I don't want to say that. I know. I don't want to say that. I didn't want to buy this one. I was like, I think it's stupid that Treyarch is making 2 games in a row. This is essentially just Black Ops 6 2. It's essentially expansion pass for the game instead of being like another game. But Chandler, the map looks really great. It looks amazing. It looks like one of the best zombie maps probably ever. I am very excited for it. But I'm still not going to buy. I'm not going to buy it, even though that you could play zombies in the beta that comes out this weekend. I'm not going to buy it, pre-order it because I'm going to wait till the game comes out because it could be bad. You never know. What if it's shit? What if it's terrible? You never know. They could just do really good marketing for this one. It looks really good. It looks really good.
Has even gone on discount yet?
Black Ops 7.
6.
A couple times, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe just wait till the 7th one goes on discount then.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to play it like whenever it comes out. It depends on if it's good or not. It depends on if it's good or not, dude. Zombies. There's like a couple weaknesses for me, dude. And zombies is one of them. It's zombies like Godzilla and Tron. Those are the things that like. Look at Jared Leto. Like I fucking hate Jared Leto, and he's the main character of the Tron movie. And somehow I'm watching that movie. It's because it's one of my weaknesses, you know.
Is he like the main character? Like, man, is he the protagonist?
I think he's Jesus. And from the little bit of the marketing I've got. Well, okay. It's okay. You know, I'm not even gonna explain it. I'm not even gonna explain it. We're gonna just go into next week and then I'll explain it because I'll be like, these are my predictions for what the movie's gonna be like for next week. That's what we're gonna do here, okay? But I do think he's Jesus. I don't know.
Saying Jared Leto and Jesus in the same sentence is crazy.
He wanted the movie to exist for a reason, and I think it's because it doesn't matter. You know what? Fuck it. What was I talking about? Black Ops 6. I played that. Did we finish Kai? Did I tell you that we finished Dan? I finished Dan. If I didn't tell you that, I really liked that second season. That second season was quite good. Really, really fantastic. Can't wait for the third. We started watching My Hero Academia, me and G. We're 2 episodes in on that, so I'm excited to get more further into that. What other thing? Oh, Chandler, you are probably the only one that's going to be interested in this, but I watched the first episode of Marvel Zombies. That was pretty good.
It released. Not that I have access to it.
Oh, right. I
What?
don't have Disney Plus anymore.
What did you think of it?
I liked the
You liked
first
it?
episode. I wouldn't say like I loved it. I thought that okay. Here's I don't want to give like I kind of want to give like a review of it eventually, but
Go for it.
I enjoyed once I finish it. But in the first episode, I really enjoyed how expendable people were. I felt like the dialogue was pretty like natural. Like these people in this situation would be talking like this. It felt natural that these people were friends and bantering in this way. And then I really enjoyed the powers used in certain bits of it. I want to be vague because I actually do think this is worthy of a watch if you're old enough to watch it. Old enough by that I mean like 13, because I'm pretty sure the only problem with this is like gore or something like that. But it's pretty good so far. I think there's a bit that might get underlooked, but I kind of like it a lot at the end. And then there's a bit in the middle that's really fucking awesome. At least I think it's really awesome of the first episode. But I'm excited to watch the rest of it. I think it's going to be really sick.
What about the animation?
I love
Heard you.
what if animation. Yeah, and especially in this, like it's honed to its nth degree. I'm gonna say it because it was in the trailer, but it also ends the first episode. But the fight that Blade has with Ghost is awesome. It is so
Really?
it's so cool. It is really really sick. I would recommend if you're a fan of Blade, I would recommend watching the show in general because he's really awesome in it. But yeah, I really like it so far. That's kind of it. That's all I've been experiencing. Oh, I talked about it last week. I played like 3 hours of Lego and Incredibles because I decided to get that because it was only a handful of dollars. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It's weird that it starts in the second game instead of the first game. Like it's out of order. But it's Lego, so I don't really care all that much. And plus, I've seen both the movies, and I'm not a baby, so I understand. I just like the open
Lego?
world and running around and breaking shit and getting a bunch of these characters and seeing what these characters look like in Lego. I think it's fun. But yeah,
Is that one of the first Lego games to be open world?
I don't fucking know, dude. I'm
I
just
used to know.
entering into this community, which, by the way, fantastic community. A lot of other communities should learn about this community because it's very nice and awesome, and everyone is very welcoming and kind. So people should learn about the Lego community and take that into their own community and move forward.
We love Legos.
Yeah, not calling anyone out in specific. I'm actually not. There's too many to name. But yeah, I'm done.
All right, Chandler. No.
He's like, shut up.
Yes, Scott. Zach, does he really think I'm going to ask him again?
No. Just say yes, Chandler. Do it.
Chandler, yes. What have you been watching? I'm watching. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so okay, go ahead, Zach. I've been watching a good bit, but I've also been playing a good bit, and I must say I'm also part of this community. I was playing Lego Horizon Zero Dawn. I finally played that game, and I must say it's revolutionary. Like it's doing something that I've never seen any other Lego do. I think the Lego Batman's going to be. It's not really similar because I still think what this game does is actually bad for Lego. Usually in a Lego level, you start it and you might be in it for like 20 or so minutes. I don't know how long they take, and then you finish. Maybe in Star Wars, you get on the shuttle, or you beat the bad guy, or whatever. Here, though, you kind of go from you go through the first video game, retelling a video game, but there's so many loading screens in between the actual level, so you also can't destroy anything. Almost everything is indestructible.
That's like the point.
Which is the opposite of a Lego game. So you actually just you fight monsters, you fight the metal animals like you find in the game, and that's how you get your studs. But
I don't like that. How many characters are there? That's like a point of Lego games for me.
There's only 4 characters you can play. Aloy, Varl, Teresa, and the other guy I can't remember. But I will tell you, you can't play any of them in the video game. You only play as Aloy. But I will say, like, this was just a weird game to make a Lego video game of. It was just a weird choice.
I'm personally really disappointed with the announcement that there's only 7 playable characters in the like I said, the Dark Knight. Yeah, sorry, 7 playable heroes. That's what they said. So we probably more villains or something like that. Just all of them have an insane amount of gadgets and costumes. I like, yeah, that's cool and all, whatever. But I like the different characters and have each different character have their own unique ability or something like that. Like, I think it's cool that Batman can have every ability in the game for different suits or whatever. But I don't know, lame.
Yeah, that's the same issue with this one. It's a short game, I guess, and it looks amazing. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, and the angle is different, like that POV, FOV, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna platinum it. That's kind of play. That I promise I would. I'm starting A Way Out. So the creators of It Takes Two, Split Fiction. This might be their first game.
You playing it with Mike?
And no, I'm playing it with a friend from high school. Mike and I are going to try and play Split Fiction. I'm going to force him to play that. Yeah, it looks so much fun. And I know he's going to have fun. We just have to find time for that. Kaiju number 8, I'm caught up. There's 2 more episodes. I don't know how they're going to fit what all I want them to fit in 2 episodes. But except for that, I'm not going to do spoilers. No spoilers. I would just say it's tense.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
What?
I like it a lot.
Oh. Are you caught to it too, or
Yeah, I am.
close? Okay.
I think it's only me.
Have you seen any of it this season?
Me? Yes, I'm like 2 episodes in, 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you did say that last week. You have a lot to go. Maybe wait like till next week to start watching, because then you can catch up by the finale.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I see what you mean. Yeah.
What? Also watched Dan to Dan. Man, that cliffhanger go crazy.
So much better.
What?
So much better.
What?
Oh my god.
You're right. It's better.
So much better of a
Come on.
cliffhanger than last season's cliffhanger. What the fuck, dude? Crazy.
But also, like, what led to what I just saw at the end? Well,
I don't know. I'm excited.
that's what we gotta figure out.
Yeah. A cliffhanger should make you feel like, I'm excited to see why that happened, not be like, what the fuck is going on? Get that away. What the fuck? Stop. That should be.
That's what Momo, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the house.
And the fact that they weren't even ghosts, they were like real guys. That made it so much worse. I was like, this sucks. I did not like
For the beginning, yeah. There's so much wrong with that. The later half of the season is so much better.
the following.
Let's see.
First 3 minutes of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saga of Tanya. This is the last thing. Saga of Tanya the Evil. Anyone ever hear of this? No. Saga of Tanya.
Chinese animated. Oh,
yeah. In a way, it's an isekai. It is an isekai, but it's not like the kind. Oh no, yeah, you do die. Some of them are like you just like. Some isekais are weird. Once you don't actually die, you do just go to another world and take someone else's body. But regardless,
where you just jump through a portal and you go to another world.
Oh, that too, yeah. But in this one, no, the person dies, but it's pretty entertaining. This person is evil. The main character, the protagonist, is kind of evil. So it's almost like you're not necessarily rooting for evil, but like the main character does things that
you're watching a bad guy.
Almost, yes. Imagine watching. Well, no. In a way, she's good. You're good. You fight for the. Actually, I don't even know if you fight for the good side or not. But she's a person who does not care if people die. Like she will kill people. She's that kind of evil, which is different. Huh?
She's like an anti-hero.
Yes. Oh, I'd argue she does it for so many more selfish reasons than that.
Okay, then maybe she's an anti-hero. Where she's close.
Yes, we'll go with that. We'll go anti-hero
sometimes.
But the coolest thing about the show is that she's constantly fighting and does all she does to get back at her reincarnator, if that makes sense. The god figure that gave her a second chance of life, she utterly hates him for doing what he did, because she lacks any faith or whatever. So it's constantly her fighting a god in a way. She's not directly, but like God is doing things, so she's inadvertently fighting God. It's really interesting and intriguing. Only one season and one movie, so it's a quick watch.
It's all done.
Hmm?
It's all done.
No, I don't think it's not done. They have to continue, but I mean, it's actually decent animation. It's like kind of animation. It's cool animation. So like, sometimes they zoom in on the eyes. They really pack on lots of detail. There's tons of that, which is I thoroughly enjoy in animation. Okay, whole spiel done.
Okay.
So I had to glaze that real quick.
Chandler, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Sky,
What have
have you been watching?
Pretty good on that one. It's much easier with 2 people.
It is. So I'll get into like TV show stuff like in a few minutes. But I'm caught up with which is weird to say caught up, but I've essentially watched all of the football games possible up until the point of this recording.
Wow.
So, yeah, well, as much as possible, because like a lot of them were like area restricted, so the only way to really access them is through like Red Zone. So, like, it is, bro. Yeah, it is. Watching every football game for other teams, I will say, I can't watch the Broncos. They're one of the teams that are area blocked. So, like, the only way I can watch them is on Red Zone. So, yeah, so like in order to watch them, well, and I am in like fantasy football, so I like to see my players. So like I watch the Steelers games, and then I'll watch like Red Zone. Well, the Steelers game this week is at like 9:30, so I'm gonna watch that one, and then Red Zone, and then Red Zone for the 1 o'clock games, and then Red Zone for the 4 o'clock, and then just Monday night or Sunday night. So. And then the Monday night, and then the Thursday are easy. But yeah, I've watched pretty much all of those up until this point. And then I've been like listening, which is weird, but I have actually been listening to like Real Madrid's soccer games recently, because I like Real Madrid, but like I like it because of obviously Ronaldo. But like my new player that I really like on the team is Jude Bellingham, and he like had his first start today. I think it was his first start, but I was listening to it, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't like whenever other people bet on my team, because every time somebody bets on my team, they lose, like legitimately every single time. And so, unbeknownst to me, somebody bet on my team today. And we played a team that I think is not good. They're objectively good because they're one of like the 3 good teams in La Liga. But yeah, and we lost like 5-2, and I was so mad, and I actually turned it like the commentary off after 4 because I was like, I don't think I can listen to another minute of this while I was at work.
Yeah.
So I had that, and I just couldn't believe it. And then now, if the Broncos lose on Monday Night Football to the Bengals, it would be my worst like sports day in like a very, very long time.
No one's gonna know when watching this because we're recording it in advance. He's gonna know. I know. Like a loss, like Madrid lost the Madrid derby to Atletico 5-2. Like actually, like they killed us, and then. If we lose to the Bengals without Joe Burrow and their terrible defense, I don't even know. I am going to be so upset. It's actually going to be a monumental day in sports history for me. That'll be crazy.
Look, Spy, you have nothing to worry about the Bengals because your defense, I think, is good. I think your defense is really good. And yeah, like, of course, their offense sucks without Burr. Chandler, I have an interesting stat for you. Let me know if you're ready.
I'm ready.
The Broncos have never been trailing in the 4th quarter, and we've lost 2 games.
Hey.
Yeah,
Let's go.
because they
get a game-winning field goal as time expires. The last two.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
Didn't you play the Chargers last?
yep.
They're a good team. They're a good team. They're a very good team.
I'm not going to say they are. Though.
I would argue Bengals are top 4 worst teams.
Would it be bottom 4?
Going to win. It's guaranteed that your team is going to win this on Monday, Skylar.
And nothing is guaranteed, apparently. You got to figure it out. I thought we were guaranteed to beat Daniel Jones. Thought we were going to beat
Skylar.
the
That's
Chargers.
just that on them.
Please don't. Please don't.
I'm shunting to.
Yeah, okay, that aside, my little sports rant off to the side. I'm caught up on Gachi Yakuta. I think the last 2, I think it might be the last episodes of the season just came out. I don't know. I think so.
24. There's going to be 24 in total.
Never mind, I lied. It's halfway done. Yeah, so I just watched that, and honestly, I don't want to say because I don't know if you guys are caught up or even watched it yet.
I'm not caught up.
I've watched 4 episodes. I'm waiting for G.
Okay, they have like a Dan issue at like one point, but the point is for 2 episodes, so I don't think I like it, and I'm very uncomfortable with it.
Interesting.
But that's where I'm going to leave it. I will not be answering any more questions. And then, like, I'm talking about the end of that. I actually forgot last episode was the finale. So, like, Thursday after I got done studying, I was so excited to put on Dan, and I was like, oh, wait. And then, it kind of broke my heart. And then, I read like a chapter of Kagurabachi, and I'm caught up on the Jujutsu Kaisen Modolo. But really, I haven't been up to too much this week. I've really been trying to hammer home studying and then just some like out of podcast, out of studying, like life stuff I had to do. But yeah, I think that's really all I had, which is weird because I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like I've actually watched a lot, but I guess a lot of it would be football.
Yeah. Yeah, watching a game commitment, that's like 3 hours. I mean, if you're skipping maybe 2. Actually,
I mean, Sundays is literally all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, actually, I guess I thought you meant like you go back and watch. Do that, do you?
No, I watch the game as they're live.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't rewatch. I don't want to rewatch. So
That would really help some parlays, I guess. You would really.
That would be truly commitment if you rewatch them.
yeah, I'm not doing that. My parlays are not that important to me. They're only a couple dollars, and even at that, the second I place them, it's already guaranteed not to hit. So like, I don't think you could study for that. Yeah, but I think that's all I got.
Oh, all right. Nice. Yeah. Anyone have quarrels before we send off into Tron Legacy, my favorite movie of all time?
No, you already mentioned make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and then next week we're doing a Legacy.
Yeah. Comment
I
what
think
you
we're
guys on. If you made it to the end of the episode and you actually fucking watched Tron 1982, let me know what you think about it. I know that I'm blinded by a lot of shit about it, but I think there's a lot of good in there, especially if you've never seen it before and you like movies. Give it a shot and let us know. And also, I said it already, trying to get to 1,000 by Christmas. That would be sweet if you can do that or even supersede that. So I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week at Tron Legacy. Hopefully Austin will be there to let us know what he thinks about Tron. And then I'm really excited to talk about this movie. Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye every time.